Here are my top undervalued stocks going into 2026. So after doing quite a bit of research, I have found my 5 best stocks going into 2026. I like to find stocks that are very undervalued and could possibly give me very, very high returns. A lot of these are big Mag 7 stocks as well, just because they'll be safer and they don't move as much as some very, very volatile small penny stocks. But the first stock that I do like a lot is United Health. And United Health have been hit very, very hard at the start of 2025 because they were going from $600 a share dropping all the way to $250 a share. They're currently $330 a share at the moment. I still feel like that's very, very undervalued. I think long term, they will probably go straight back up to $400, maybe going into the start of 2026. Right now, I feel like it's such a big stock that I can't see it going any lower than $250. Things can happen. Things obviously can happen. However, I feel like the harsh days are over and it will start going back up. The one thing that drives me to like this stock the most is that the fact their revenue every single year is $400 billion and their market cap alone is only $298 billion. This is why I feel like United Health aren't going anywhere and could definitely go back to $400 a share soon. There's also a nice juicy dividend yield as well. For such a big stock like this, a 2.6% dividend yield every single year. So I feel like it's kind of a no-brainer. If it does go down 3%, we're not really losing any money. If it does only go up 5%, we get a 2.6% dividend yield as well. So you get 7.5%. My second favorite stock is Meta Platforms. I feel like Meta aren't going anywhere. They own literally everything: Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook, everything. And they have currently gone on a little dip at the moment. As you've seen, multiple other stocks, especially the Mag 7, they have been going through the roof, reaching all-time highs. However, Facebook hasn't. Their all-time high was $760 a share, and they're currently sitting at $640 a share. I feel like this is very, very undervalued. The PE ratio is sitting at 27.6, which I feel for a Mag 7 stock is really, really good. Dividend yield isn't very good. It is under 1%, so it's not the best. However, having such a big stock like this, a very big stock like this, especially when it's undervalued, is a good play to have. My third favorite stock, and probably my riskiest stock, is PayPal. And this was one stock that I felt is a bit of a risk. However, I can't see it going anywhere. PayPal used to be, back in 2021, $280 a share. And it's currently only $63 a share. Yes, it doesn't matter what the previous all-time high was because times have changed since 2021. However, I do feel that this is really undervalued because there's many other stocks out there that I feel are actually smaller than this stock. However, their market cap is bigger than PayPal's. PayPal's PE ratio is only 12.5, which I don't think is that bad. Their market cap is only $60 billion. And I feel like for a company that big, only at $60 billion market cap, earning over $30 billion revenue every year, sure, it's a no-brainer. However, I don't know what the future of PayPal holds. However, I do feel like the lowest it did hit was $55 a share, and it's currently $63 a share. So I do feel like maybe now is a very, very good time to risk. That's why I have bought now, and fingers crossed, we'll see maybe 80s by the start of next year. Fingers crossed. But it is one of my riskiest plays that I have been buying along the way. One of my favorite and less risky stocks is BlackRock. They are a huge company. The reason why I like holding a company like BlackRock is because they own so many different stocks and they're constantly buying things as well. They also hold crypto, which is one thing I really like compared to holding ETFs, the S&P 500. They don't hold any other asset, they only hold stocks. So this is why I like BlackRock. They also pay just under 2% dividend as well, and they're just a humongous stock. They do probably go quite flat. I don't see it moving too much at the start of the year. However, maybe along the lines, it will just keep building and building up. It is currently sitting at all-time high right now, $1,100, but this is a long-term stock that I'm holding and haven't actually really got to worry about. But BlackRock is definitely a solid pick for my portfolio, and it's one of the safest plays of my portfolio. And one of my underrated picks that I haven't seen many people talk about, and that is Adobe. Adobe has kind of been hidden in the shadows. No one really mentions it. No one really thinks about Adobe. However, they own so many different things. Yes, I know AI are taking over a lot of the things. However, Photoshop's still there. Adobe Lightroom is still there. And there's multiple other platforms that Adobe hold. All it takes is Adobe to start integrating AI with a lot of these softwares, and they will take over the AI space as well. They're currently sitting at $320 a share. I'm not too worried about that. I feel like they're not really going to go much lower. Their all-time high was $700 back in 2021. I don't see Adobe going back to these levels unless they take over a huge company or do really, really well financially. But I do see 400 maybe at the end of next year. However, I feel like this is a very, very good play and a very steady play. I don't see it moving too much. It isn't much of a volatile stock. Their PE ratio is 20, so that is pretty good. And their dividend is 0%, but that isn't a problem. Their market cap is only $135 billion. And one thing that I really like about Adobe is every single year, they have been consistently making profit. Every year since 2021, even before that, they have made $2 billion profit every single year. This year being $19 billion profit, 2023 being a $17 billion profit, and 2022 being a $15 billion profit. So it's consistent growth for the last 5 years, let alone maybe even 10 years. So I feel that Adobe is a very, very underrated play. And I think maybe later on it will start going up again, and hopefully we see 400s. But I feel like currently right now, for me, it's a very, very good play, and I don't see it going down too much. But those are my 5 favorite stocks going into 2026. Fingers crossed by the time 2026 comes, these stocks will have gained since I last recorded this video. But if you guys have any other stocks that you think are underrated and not many people are talking about, please drop them down below in the comments. Hit the subscribe button, leave a like, and thank you for watching. See ya, bye.